All right, good evening, everyone. Even though I can't share the show right now, welcome to Hitting the Wall. It is Tuesday, February 4th, and you're here for a reason. We promised that Joe would be back on if one thing happens.
Because we are the champions.
I was not going to sing. I just no.
And I shouldn't have, but that's okay.
No. So in case you live under a rock or you're not from this area, or I don't know how you would have missed it.
The Kansas City Chiefs are the champions.
Exactly.
Of the world.
Yes, Super Bowl 54 goes to the Kansas City Chiefs, so we thought we'd bring Joe back on. There we go. Now we're finally
there. We are. Deanna says she is recovering from her heart attack.
So yes.
LOL.
So really, I guess the first question is, has it sunk in yet?
It hit me earlier today that something was different. When it was, I've been around Kansas City when the day after the Chiefs beat the Raiders, the day after the Chiefs beat the Broncos, and I get a high five and I get to go Chiefs at the grocery store.
Sure. Yeah.
That generally stops after about 12 to 18 hours.
Yeah.
I got hugged earlier today by some random person.
Does your wife know about this?
Well, it was a dude. It was okay.
Oh, okay.
I got hugged by some random person earlier today because they liked my hat and they love the Chiefs. I mean, so you knew something was different, and then it sunk in that we're the champions of the world.
Indeed. So, again, if you weren't watching, 31-20, final score. Chiefs win in Miami. Patrick Mahomes is your Super Bowl MVP. Do you agree with the selection of Patrick Mahomes as Super Bowl MVP?
Honestly, I don't think I do.
Yeah.
I love me some Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
My fantasy football team was Country Road Take Mahomes.
Yep.
And I love me some Mahomes. But I think Damian Williams was the MVP of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I posted on Facebook very much the same thing, that I thought Damian Williams was the MVP. And he was the most consistent thing that the Chiefs had throughout the course of the game.
Yeah.
What I think, upon further reflection, I think Mahomes won the MVP award for himself with that fourth quarter performance.
Well, and that's understandable.
Yeah.
I'm not going to discount what Mahomes did, because my goodness.
Yeah, he was having a very un-Mahomes-like performance in the first three quarters of that game.
Man, it's what it does is it goes to it makes things hard for coaches from this point on.
Yeah.
Because coaches who used to say, you got to play 60 minutes. You got to play 60 minutes. No way.
Yeah.
Well, Patrick Mahomes played 8 and didn't play for 52.
Right.
And the Chiefs still won by 11.
Yeah, he didn't really turn it on until the fourth quarter. But honestly, it was Damian Williams that scored the dagger at the end.
Well, and it was Damian Williams, I think, that he was the thing that, honestly, I think in the time wore down.
Yes. Yeah.
The San Francisco defense, because I was telling this to somebody yesterday, and I want to hear what you have to say about this.
Sure.
Because I think this might be this is the way I view this. They had a defense that basically says run all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
not such a nice way, but they say run all day. They're just going to go and go and go and go and go. And we have an offense that goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. And really, I think it came down to who got tired first.
Right. Yeah, and I agree, because the San Francisco defense, legit,
phenomenal.
That's an amazing defense, and Bosa is going to be a good player for a long time.
I think he's going to be a great player for a long time.
And so they dominated the first three quarters of the game defensively, but they could never put us away.
No.
And I think what happened was, once Mahomes caught fire, and once we scored those 21 unanswered, or at least 14 unanswered. And then, San Francisco started leaning back and started getting worried. And you could see it written all over their faces that, oh, there's a problem here. We can't seem to stop them now. They have all the momentum. And, it was them trying to come up and stop Patrick Mahomes that led to Williams' last touchdown run, which was it. After that, that was ball game done.
It was done. But, you look at this and man, just all around, I think I look at this and I realize I think there's 3 guys that I'm really happy for.
Okay.
More than I'm happy for all those guys, but there's 3 guys that I'm really happy for.
Yeah, save the number one for the end. We all know who that's going to be.
Well, the first one is Dustin Colquitt.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, very seldom is there a punter that
Right.
that honestly is so beloved in town.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
I mean, partially because he's a good guy,
Right.
a really good guy.
He was our nomination for the Walter Payton Man of the Year.
And has been more than once.
Yeah, every team gets one nomination for that on, who does good deeds in their community. He was our nomination this year for the Chiefs. Didn't end up winning. That went to a gentleman for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
But I mean, still, to even be mentioned as the guy for your team is a big honor.
Is a big deal. And so he not only did he, after over a decade of punting and being, honestly, as far as I'm concerned, the best punter in the league.
There were definitely years he was.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think in totality, you can look at it and say over the course of his career,
right.
There's been sections where there's been people that maybe were a little bit better, but not in totality.
Right.
So, but he gets to join his brother and his dad,
right.
who also have Super Bowl rings as punters.
I think they said 4. The Colquitt family now has 4 Super Bowl rings.
No, the Colquitt family now has 5.
Is it 5? Okay.
Because Daddy had 2 and brother had 2.
Yep, because he kicked. Let's see, the brother kicked for Denver.
When they got one with Peyton Manning.
And then
he got another one.
Yeah.
His dad was with the Steelers.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go.
So with some Terry Bradshaw.
That's not a bad team to be on.
No, not a bad team.
Okay, number 2.
Number 2 for me, honestly, is Honey Badger.
Honey Badger, yep.
I like me some Honey Badger. Anytime you got a guy who is listed at 5'7", but I think he's 5'4" on a tall day.
Yeah, maybe that might be true.
I may be wrong, but anytime you get a guy that legitimately, if he made the NFL, should have been nothing more than just a ball hawk on special teams.
Yeah,
and he can turn into one of the best cornerbacks. Covering safeties.
Yep.
Covering guys who are a foot taller than him.
Right.
And doing it incredibly well.
That's
a guy.
He is not afraid to put a hit on someone too.
He will.
He had some good pops yesterday.
Yes.
All right. Number 1, we know number 1, but hit it.
Number 1 is Big Red.
Absolutely.
Everybody loves Big Red. I don't know anybody who other than a former sports broadcaster here in town, who had anything bad to say about Big Red.
Who was that?
Oh, the guy on 810.
Oh, yeah.
He who shall not be named.
No, we're not touching that one.
No. And but honestly, everybody loves Big Red.
Yeah. Yep, that's absolutely right.
I mean, and he finally has a quarterback that he's been missing his entire career. No, that is not being insulting to Donovan McNabb.
I was going to say Donovan McNabb might be the first guy to say, wait a minute.
Donovan McNabb was a heck of a quarterback.
Yes, he was.
But there are levels.
Yeah.
There is very good, and that's Donovan McNabb. And then there is great. And that's Patrick Mahomes.
Which is so far
at this point in time,
right.
It's Patrick Mahomes.
Right. So yes, Andy Reid getting his 222nd victory finally got him a Super Bowl. So now, I mean, like his place in Canton in the Hall of Fame cemented.
Absolutely
cemented. And I don't know if you saw in the film, but one of the first guys to hug him post game was Donovan McNabb.
As well, it should have been.
Right. He is Andy Reid is loved throughout the NFL, and all the people who came up through his system, who maybe got their own head coaching jobs or went on to be an offensive coordinator elsewhere or a defensive coordinator elsewhere or a head coaching job in college. Like the Andy Reid tree is lush.
Truthfully, that's his legacy.
It will be, yeah.
That will be his legacy at one point in time.
Yeah.
His legacy will be those who came after him and the ones who came after them.
Right.
It's kind of like, I mean, in college football, there was always the Hayden Fry tree.
Sure.
In the NFL, we have the Andy Reid tree.
Yeah.
The Bill Parcells tree.
Yeah.
You know, there's those guys. And I couldn't be more happy for Big Red.
You and everybody else.
Everybody else. Anybody else has a hard time with that, come talk to us.
Yeah, exactly right. What did Deanna say on that?
Deanna says, yes, I agree. Seeing a little of Honey Badger's past and seeing where he is today definitely is deserving.
I'll tell you, I don't know about anyone else, but when he first came in the league, like somehow I knew he was going to be destined to be a Chief. It was the weirdest thing because I think they were aiming for him in the draft, and they didn't.
I thought he was going to be a Raider.
No. I saw him as a Chief from day one, and it took a while, but he finally got here.
You know, and here's the other thing, and I'll say this. I watched Kyle Shanahan after the game, and this is 2 times when he's been in the Super Bowl, and one is the head coach and one is an offensive coordinator.
Yep.
And it hasn't worked out well for him.
No, he's 0 for 2.
But he handled himself like a champ.
No, he really did. Because when you lose a game like the Super Bowl, you have one of 2 options. You can either be classy, which he was, or he could have immediately gone to the refs this, the refs that. So let's branch off that. The offensive pass interference on Kittle, yes or no? Was it offensive pass interference? Okay.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
he pushed. He created separation.
Stiff-armed him.
You cannot stiff-arm the defender when you do not have the ball.
Yes. The San Francisco fan base is clinging to that call as the reason they lost the game.
But what is it going to do?
Nothing. It might have gotten them a field goal before halftime. They didn't have enough time to put it in the end zone. So ultimately, it might have gotten them 3 more points that did not decide the game.
Right.
The game was decided by more than 3.
Absolutely.
And yeah, by that 4th quarter, by the time Mahomes and Kelsey took over, and then by the time that the defense started stopping that run, 3 points weren't going to make the difference.
So this is I want to do this real quickly because we have a football game to talk about still. But
real quickly?
I want to do this part real quick.
Okay. What are we doing?
Okay. It was a Super Bowl.
Yes.
And every other year when the Chiefs aren't in it, one of the topics of conversation is let's talk commercials.
Yeah.
And so you watched the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You obviously watched some commercials.
I did.
Any of them that stood out?
I think it was an okay year for commercials. The one that sticks out, and I'm not saying it was the best, it's just the one that sticks out in my head, was Bill Murray reenacting Groundhog Day.
Okay.
Which was a Jeep commercial.
Okay.
That was good. Movie trailer-wise, it was a toss-up between Top Gun 2 and the new James Bond. But those are action movies. It's kind of my jam. But yeah, nothing really stuck out. I think the one that's getting the most mixed reactions is the Jason Momoa.
Well, I will tell you what. That one stood out for a different reason for me.
Yeah.
Well, Lisa Bonet.
Who?
The young lady who took the bar from him at the end. That's his wife. She also was on. She was also Denise on the Cosby Show.
I knew the name sounded familiar.
Yeah, one of those early in my life crush things, you know.
Okay.
And so it's Lisa Bonet. But the one that got me, and I had to look at some people and say, "Hey, I'm not crying. You're crying."
Well, there were a few. There were definitely a few of those.
There was 2 of them. There was the old ragged cross,
the
old ragged flag.
Old Rugged Cross.
Old Ragged Flag.
Okay, but the other song's Old Rugged Cross.
Right. I just misspoke.
Yeah, you confusing me.
There was the Old Ragged Flag, which Johnny Cash did.
Right.
And that was in there, and that got me.
Okay.
You know, the soldier sitting with another soldier talking about these things, and it got to me. And the other one was when he said, hey, Google, remember this.
Oh, yeah, that one was rough. I do remember that one.
That was one of those things. So, okay, wait a minute. Deanna says she was not a fan this year, but she did like the new Baby Peanut.
Oh, yeah, I remember I saw that one. The Mr. Peanut.
Mr. Peanut, and then the Kool-Aid Man cried.
Yeah, they were totally playing off the Baby Yoda feel.
Yeah. And so, movie trailer-wise, James Bond all the way.
Yeah, doesn't that look good? Oh, that looks good.
And James Bond. I don't know what else to say, but it's James Bond.
It is. This will be Daniel Craig's last outing as James Bond.
This is the 25th.
25th total James Bond movie.
James Bond.
Yep. Only one actor who's done it for one movie. Everyone else had repeat roles. Do you remember the one actor?
Is it Timothy Dalton?
No, he had a few.
Roger Moore had a few.
Yep.
Sean Connery had a few. Pierce Brosnan had a few.
Yep. I'd ask if anyone else knows it, but there's 2 people watching right now.
Yeah, I know. I have no idea. Who was it?
George Lazenby.
George Lazenby
had one outing as James Bond. I couldn't even remember which one it is, but he had one. Oh. Everyone else has had repeat performances. Still, my favorite is Pierce Brosnan. I think he was the best Bond.
I don't know.
Yeah, I liked his movies.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's just me. Let's see. Oh, yeah. So addressing that, now that we're down to one person, clearly this is a riveting show tonight. We're going against the State of the Union. I just realized that. So I think we've lost some people to El Presidente talking this evening, and that's fine if you want to be up on your current events. No, not Dennis Martinez.
You said El Presidente.
Yeah, no, El Jefe, El Trumpy, whatever you want to call him.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
No one's going to get the Dennis Martinez
I
reference.
thought Dennis Martinez.
Still, no one's going to get the reference.
Oh, okay.
Swing and a miss.
Ah, man.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
I am.
Sure.
Guys, you need to go look up Dennis Martinez. Hell of a pitcher.
Yeah. Yeah.
For the Montreal Expos.
Yeah, I was going to say it's been a minute since he was around.
Yeah.
So I know we're going against the president tonight. It's a Tuesday night. Everyone's getting ready for tomorrow. So yeah, tomorrow we have a red snow day in Kansas City.
We do.
If you guys are ready for a red snow day. Whoa, the Red Sox have agreed to trade Mookie Betts and David Price to the Dodgers. That's going to be worth pursuing here in a moment. So,
hey, let's talk about it.
Yeah, well, I'll have to get more information. That's baseball, which we will start to switch over to shortly, but not right now. So Kansas City tomorrow will have their Chiefs parade.
Yes.
Downtown is all ready.
Yes.
Most of the local school districts have canceled classes tomorrow.
Yes, they have.
And they are expecting over 1 million people to descend upon downtown Kansas City.
Yep. We have another guest, Kathy.
Kathy Half.
Kathy Half.
Kathy Half.
Hi, Kathy Half.
Hi, Kathy. Kathy gets a shout out. She is one of the people very responsible for saving my life back in 2016 with the heart surgery stuff.
Kathy Half.
So we like Kathy here.
That's awesome.
Yes.
I didn't help him during that season. I brought him barbecue.
Yes, he did.
At the hospital.
It was so good. After that heart-friendly hospital food, barbecue was wonderful. Actually, probably a warm sewer rat would have been wonderful at that point.
Oh, well, I could have got that too.
Yeah. So anyway, okay, so I know that you are not attending the parade.
I am not.
You have other obligations.
I do.
Sadly, I will not be attending the parade. I have other obligations.
It's called being an adult and having to go to work.
That's right. I have to go to work. So, yeah, if you are going to the parade tomorrow, number one, be very careful. Be safe. I expect no problems down there because we're Kansas City and we're kind of awesome like that.
Absolutely.
But something that they are suggesting, if you are taking kids or taking young ones of any sort, have designated meeting spots and make sure they have some form of identification on them. Even if you put on a piece of paper, my name is this, my parents are this, phone numbers to call are this. If anyone gets separated, it'll make it easier for law enforcement to get them all reconnected.
Yeah.
So please think ahead, be prepared. It's going to be uber cold out there. And if there's snow on the ground, your little footsies are going to get cold. So be prepared.
Double up the socks.
Double up the socks. So let's see. Oh, Kathy has to work too.
Kathy has to work, but Lisa Graham joined us.
Lisa. Hi, Lisa. Long time. So that covers the parade. Oh, how did your deal go? You were hosting for the Super Bowl.
Man, I had a really good time.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask about, this was the other thing I was going to ask about, but I'll share my story first. So we had a church party.
Right.
And at the peak, we had about 70 folks.
70?
70.
Wow. That's really good.
That was kind of fun. And then, people who came and had brought littles.
Yeah. They
had to go. So
Get
they
the
stuck around through halftime and we gave away some giveaways and then they got to leave. So there was one of the Chiefs license plate barrier.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Little frame looking thing.
Yeah. A Patrick Mahomes throw.
Ooh. Don't throw Patrick Mahomes.
We made some jokes about it.
Yeah. Don't hurt him.
And then a little mini football.
Okay.
And then we also gave away a Kansas City Put the Hammer Down T-shirt.
Very nice. Very nice.
So that was good. By the end of the game, there was about 20 to 25 folks who had stuck around, and
everyone got to celebrate.
Well, yeah, kind of everybody but me.
Well, you were working.
I was working.
Yeah.
When there was about 9 minutes left in the game, things were not looking so good.
Nope.
And I realized I'm going to be here till midnight, cleaning up. So I started doing dishes.
Oh no!
So I stepped out to go do some dishes, and I started hearing screaming.
Yes.
Because things started getting good. And every time I walked back in, I got yelled at and told to leave.
People do get a little superstitious about their football.
I had one guy tell me the most loving thing I could do was to leave and go wash dishes.
Okay.
Because if I came in, bad things were going to happen. And there were more of them than there are of me. So
true.
I listened to people have a very good time. And I greatly enjoyed scrubbing pots and pans.
Okay.
But, me well enough to know that I like serving folks.
Yes.
And I like to show up in those sort of environments and just be of service to whoever I can be.
Mhm.
So they're really, I couldn't think of a better way to celebrate the Chiefs win than by not only getting to hear some folks have an incredible time.
Yeah.
I got to walk in at the very end and get to celebrate with them.
Sure.
And then I got to serve some folks that I care about. And so it was a really, really good deal.
Good. Well,
And you were on your own.
I was right here. I was actually over that way.
Yeah.
And I was watching from the comfort of my recliner. I started the game, kicked back in the comfort of my recliner. I finished the game with about this much support underneath my keister as I was leaning so far forward into the game, ready to lose my stuff. And yeah, I thought about, maybe going out and enjoying it out with people, or, a few people offered their parties to me, which was very kind. But
I offered.
You did?
You said you'd come up and join us.
But it was one of those things that if we did not win, I needed my own space.
Didn't necessarily want to be around people.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't want to have to put on the happy face, because I absolutely would have been less than pleased if we had not won that game.
Yeah.
And like I said, for a while, it wasn't looking good. And I'll tell you what really got me, and it's like the number one reason that I'm so glad we came back in that game in that moment, when they got that second interception on Mahomes and their whole defense ran into the end zone and struck that big group pose in front of the camera. When San Francisco did that, I'm like, okay, forget all my good sportsmanship. I want us to throttle them.
Yeah.
That part irked me. As a passionate fan, that part irked me. I'm allowed to be irked. And indeed I was. Hey,
my buddy James. Hey, James. How are you, buddy? It's good to see you. And Dominic.
Dominic. Yeah.
Hey, Dominic.
Worked with my mother for a period. So,
well, James is a barbecue guy. He runs a food truck up in Leavenworth.
Where's my barbecue?
Lansing. Well, it was a little chilly today to be out cooking, so
there's a microwave right over there.
Yeah, but for him, I mean,
okay.
Him to be
Fine.
cooking. I could have brought you some barbecue and put it in the microwave, but
what is it going to take me another heart surgery for you to bring me barbecue? Is that what we're saying?
I hope not.
This is ridiculous.
I know.
Ridiculous.
I brought other things for you.
Not tonight.
Not tonight. Yeah.
I'm hungry.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, let's see.
Okay. So
yeah, what do you got?
All right. So here's my last question.
Okay.
Last time I was on,
mm-hmm.
we talked about our Kansas City Chiefs memories.
Yes.
And we were hoping and praying that we would get
a new
number one.
Yes.
And we did.
Yeah, we did.
So I want to talk about Kansas City
mm-hmm.
sports memories and where this ranks on your list of things that you got to either experience or you got to. So where does it rank? And this could be college. This could be professional. This could be professional wrestling.
So,
James got a permanent location opening up on May the 1st. Awesome. James, could you drop a note in here and let us know where you're going to be?
Yeah.
Because Kyle and we will come and I will purchase for Kyle.
We'll do the show there.
Hey, could we?
Dude.
Could we come to your permanent location and film an episode of the show?
Can we podcast from your barbecue joint?
Yeah, come on, James.
Come on, James.
We'll put your barbecue in front of us. You know you want to let us do this.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Okay.
How sweet would that be?
Anyway, that would be great.
So, I think people might unfriend me for this. This is not my number one Kansas City sports memory. This might have slipped into number 2 or 3. It's a toss-up between the Royals winning the World Series, and I've always considered myself a little more of a baseball guy than a football guy. So the Chiefs might have gone into 3. The Royals World Series 2. Number 1 was back in, I think it was 2012, when the All-Star game came to Kansas City. The MLB All-Star game. I didn't make the All-Star game, but I was there for the Home Run Derby.
Okay.
So in the Home Run Derby, if you don't know this story, okay, the Royals still had Billy Butler on their team.
Yeah.
The American League had Robinson Cano as their captain. Robinson Cano said in preseason, spring training, that with the game being in Kansas City, I will absolutely have a Royal on my Home Run Derby team. Well, we all know that was Billy Butler at the time.
And he didn't.
Robinson Cano reneged on that, had no Royal in the Home Run Derby. And when Cano came up to bat in the Home Run Derby, the crowd was on him. And it wasn't just that they booed. It was the electricity. it was the electricity in that whole
Dude.
place. It was the most amazing feeling I've ever had at a live event.
I'm going to use a professional wrestling term here.
Yeah.
He got X-Pac heat.
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, he got Rick Rude heat in that place.
Great.
It was. I mean, it was
there's
insane.
difference. X-Pac heat means I really just want you to stop existing.
No, it wasn't that. It was that we all together as one disliked him so much for reneging on the offer to Butler and for being a Yankee. He's a Yankee. And so, no, just that experience. And again, I know he's not watching because he doesn't do social media. My boy Zach hooked me up with that ticket. He and I went to that home run derby.
Yeah.
And I still think, just the feeling in that place, the electricity in Kauffman Stadium. I've never felt anything like it before or since.
Yeah.
And so I know, of course, when the Royals won the World Series, they won it in New York. So I can only imagine what that would have felt like here locally, had they won it here.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, man, I think.
What do you say? Hold on. The barbecue question.
106 Main Street in Lansing. So yes, awesome. I will come and frequent your establishment like I currently do your truck.
He didn't say we could do the show there.
Can we do the show there?
We want to do the show.
The question's still on the table.
Yeah.
So
if you got T-shirts, we'll wear T-shirts.
Just whatever you want, man.
Hook us up with some barbecue.
I will take a rib and slab it on me, and right, all slabbed up in barbecue sauce.
Please don't.
On my shirt.
Please don't.
On my shirt.
Oh, on your shirt. Okay. That almost took a very bad turn.
That would be bad.
Yes.
No. So for me, he says, "Yep,
barbecue."
Yeah. Boom.
Hey, that'll be our first live remote.
It would. No, it wouldn't, because we did Summit.
Those were summer shorts.
No, at my work establishment in Lenexa.
Oh, that's right. Well, no, but that's not a. That was.
I guess. Yeah.
They barely acknowledged our existence.
They didn't acknowledge my existence, and I worked there.
Mm-hmm.
And so
sour grapes.
Yeah, well, So my list.
Yes. Hit it.
This is where I'm at, and I'm going to start with number 4, and these are things that I remember.
Okay.
My number 4 is when we hosted the All-Star game.
Yeah. What a weekend that was. It
was incredible.
3 days in the middle of the week, I should say.
And it was incredible.
It was. And this town was so hot.
It was great. The number 3.
Number 3
was the comeback in the number 3 was the comeback in the wild card game
this year.
No. Baseball.
Oakland and the Oakland A's and the Royals.
The comeback in the wild card game.
Christian Colon rounding after Salvi's hit. Oh, yes.
What a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful moment.
That was
so amazing. And those guys just never quit. And it set the stage for an amazing October. And honestly, I mean, I know that I honestly think for me, that October was more exciting than the next one, even though we won.
But we knew we were going to win that second one.
We knew we were better.
Yeah, we weren't supposed to be there in that first.
And it was so amazing because we didn't lose until we got to the series.
Yeah. No, they swept.
They swept everybody leading up to the series. So I think it really culminates in that 2014 postseason.
Okay.
But began with that comeback.
Yeah.
For me, the third one is the second. Number 2 is the Super Bowl last night.
Okay. Number 2 is the Super Bowl.
And for me, the number 1, anybody who knows me knows I love the Kansas Jayhawks. And
Derrick Rose's missed free throws.
Mario Chalmers outplaying Derrick Rose.
Indeed, he did.
Mario Chalmers outplaying Derrick Rose, and us winning the national title. I have limited memories of '88.
Yes, but that was 2008.
Yeah,
2008. Okay.
I have limited memories of '88 and Danny and the Miracles.
Danny and the Miracles. Yeah.
I remember watching the game against Oklahoma, but I was so young it didn't sink in.
Yeah.
And then Mario Chalmers.
Okay. Yeah.
Beating, he was so stinking good.
That whole game was. I watched that whole game.
And the game before when at halftime of the game against North Carolina, We're playing North Carolina, who was supposed to win the whole stinking thing. Tyler Hansborough was there.
And has your former coach.
And has Roy Williams.
Yeah.
And at halftime, going into halftime, Vern Lundquist says, this game's over.
Ooh.
And he was right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of like the, the 49ers yesterday. Sunday, a lot of their reporters were already saying, game's over. Going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
It's like, man,
but
have you guys not watched Chiefs at all?
But this was different.
Yeah.
Because Lundquist was saying it was over in the favor of the Jayhawks.
Yeah. Yeah.
They just came out and just whipped people. But listen, this is a moment. This serving my friends,
mm-hmm.
celebrating with them.
Yeah.
It's a moment I'm not going to forget.
Right.
And it's a moment that we could do this again. They could go again. They could do these other things, or they couldn't.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter at this point.
In football, it's hard. Like, I know that the New England Patriots are an anomaly in the football universe.
And
you don't have a lot of these repeats.
Right. And we just have to sit and recognize that the New England Patriots were able to do that because the GOAT.
Yeah, because of Tom Brady. Yeah. And rumor is he might be a Raider next year. You buying that? You buying what they're selling?
No way.
Tom Brady is a Raider?
It'd be hilarious.
Till he gets killed out there.
He might. He'll be in Las Vegas.
It's warmer. It's warmer. Warmer than New England.
Lots warmer than New England.
Yep.
But we'll say, okay, so in 2 weeks.
Well, okay, so
let's talk.
Next week, I'll reel back the sports talk. I know it's been 3 weeks in a row, even though last week mildly had a message. We'll get back to normal next week, I promise. And then in 2 weeks, Joe's going to do a solo episode. It's just going to be Joe and his own thoughts. Be afraid. But I will be getting ready to go out of town for my 40th birthday, so I am not doing a show. And I believe it's let's see, what's today, the 4th? So let's see. You're on the 18th.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to be a Joe episode on the 18th.
It is. And I honestly, I already kind of know what I'm going to talk about.
You want to give him a preview or is it a surprise?
Well, I can. And, this podcast, before it was Hitting the Wall, was something else entirely.
It was.
And it began as a show for folks dealing with divorce.
Right.
And not something that I've dealt with, but that's what it was going through. And it's interesting in the last few days since you asked me to have a solo episode,
mm-hmm.
I've had 7 different people reach out to me about an episode that you and I did in season 1.
No kidding.
Yeah. And
which one?
The forgiveness episode.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
And they've asked me to, if we ever had the time,
mm-hmm.
to rehash that a little bit. And so, honestly, here in 2 weeks, I'm going to talk about something that nobody likes to talk about, and that's first asking for forgiveness,
mm-hmm.
and then second giving it even if it's not warranted.
Mm. That is a tough one.
And we're going to talk about it, and we're going to talk honestly about it. And I already have somebody who's going to come on the show with me, but I am not going to spoil who that is.
Okay.
But it's going to be a great week.
If you're going to use the studio for that, let me know because I'll have to clean a lot.
No, I think I'll do it off-site, so you don't have to worry about it. I'll just need a microphone to take with me.
Yeah, the other one's around here somewhere.
We can make it happen.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. So you're going to deal with me next week. Maybe I'll start setting up. I'll set you up. I'll throw that lob that you can just jam home the next week.
Boom!
I don't know. We'll figure it out. So, hey, I know we're running late tonight. Thank you if you tuned in. I know we're against the State of the Union. Everyone's got Chiefs hangover. We got a parade coming up tomorrow.
Enjoy it if you're going.
Enjoy it if you're going. Be safe. But, yeah, I know there's a lot going on. Hey, dagnabbit. Man, I'm going to focus on this in next week as well. If you haven't yet, go to the website, Hitting the Wall Podcast, all one word, hittingthewallpodcast.com. Completely redone, completely revamped, completely new look. It is super cool. Clover Hill Promotions did a wonderful job on it. So please go check out the new website. It's awesome.
Do we have Hitting the Wall merchandise?
We do.
Shower curtain?
No, not yet. Working on it.
Working on a shower curtain.
T-shirts are available. I'm going to wear mine next week so I can start modeling it, or for everyone to see. You can see what the new T-shirts look like. Clearly, today was cheap stuff. Had to be.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so no, go. You can go to
order myself a T-shirt.
They run small. I'm a little disappointed with that, but that's okay.
Okay.
Hoodies, tank tops, T-shirts, all available. So
Kyle and I are not going to wear tank tops on this show. Don't worry about it.
Not until summertime. After I do a lot of push-ups.
Lots of them.
Lots of them. So, all right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for putting up with us. We'll get back to normal next week, but this was super fun.
Absolutely.
Kansas City.
Go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs.
Did you know that you could talk to Kyle when he records his shows? Tune in to the live recordings of Hitting the Wall on Facebook Tuesday evenings at 8 p.m. Central Time and say hi.